In this video you will learn how to leverage Chat-GPT in Power Automate Desktop. Now make sure to watch this video till the end, because at the end of this video I'm going to show you how to store the data that you've just extracted in Microsoft Excel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Thomas and you're watching Tom's Tech Academy. Let's start right away. And the first activity that I'm going to add is Invoke Web Service, and this is the one you need. So take it and just drag it to the center of the screen. And then let's navigate to the documentation page of the API, which is this page. I can find the link in the description. And this is the first URL that you need. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to take it to Power Automate and I'm just going to paste it here. Then when you go back to the documentation page, you also see here that this should be a post request. So let's also change that. Let's change it from get to post. And this one should be application/JSON. So let's change it as well. And then for the authentication, let's go back to the documentation, go to authentication. Then you see here, this is the string that you need to copy: authorization, bearer, and then the OpenAI API key. So just copy it, go back to Power Automate and paste this one here. And you have to change the OpenAI API key for your API key. So I'm just going to store my key here. So just copy this one and press Ctrl V. Make sure to generate your own API key. You can do that for free. Just create an OpenAI account. There is a link to another video that explains the entire process. Then navigate to this page and then you can click here on create new secret key. You can provide a description, for example, Power Automate Desktop. Click on create secret key and then you will get the key here. So just take this one, I'm going to copy this one, navigate back to Power Automate, and then just drop the key here. Now in the next step, we're going to configure the request body. So I'm just going to paste the text here, and I can find this text in the description of this video. I'm just going to explain it very quick. So here you put the model, which is Text DaVinci 003, which is the best model at the moment. Then here you can put the request. So you see that I want to generate 10 ideas for my RPA YouTube channel. Of course, if you want to, for example, generate 10 cooking ideas, just change this part. Then the max tokens, that's the amount of tokens that you want to spend. And tokens is basically how OpenAI is charging you for this. But don't worry, when you create an account, you get some tokens for free. And then what else is important? And that's the amount of responses that you're going to get. I'm just going to put it to 1, but just try changing it to multiple. And those are basically the most important values. Just leave this one on get text into variable, then navigate to advanced, and this part is really important. And then make sure that encode request body, you put this one to false, and then click on save. Then the next activity that we're going to need is this one, convert JSON to custom object. So take it. And this is basically parsing the JSON response that we get back from the API and turning it into readable text. So click here on the X and then take web service response, this one, and click on select. Now click on save. And then let's just put the response in a message box to just see if what we have done so far makes sense. So take a display message, just put it here. And then in the message to display, I'm going to click on the X. We're going to take JSON as custom object, just click on select, and then we're going to add choices 0. And choices is the amount of responses. So if you put n on, for example, 5 or 10, you're going to get more responses, and you also have 1, 2, 3, for example. But for now, it's just 0. And click on save. And let's run this flow. You see that we already get some ideas for RPA YouTube videos. So this looks rather good. Text, this doesn't look good. And that's because I made a mistake, and I'm just going to show you how to get rid of this. So just click here and then make sure that you add after the closing square bracket dot text. Click save and let's run it again. Okay, this looks really good. So we get 10 ideas for new YouTube videos. Please be aware that in front of the ideas, there are some empty lines. So if you want to process the input, make sure to get rid of them. So let's click on OK, and then let's go to the next step and see how we can store these ideas in Excel. And in order to do that, I'm going to start with searching for Excel. And I'm going to start with launching Excel. So just put launch Excel here. We're going to start with a blank document. I'm going to click on save. And then we're also going to end with a close Excel activity like this. And we want to save this document. So click here on save document as. And then just take this select file, navigate to your desktop. Now what's the easiest? Just click here with your right mouse button, click on New, Microsoft Excel worksheet, and then just create a new sheet. I'm going to call this one YouTube Ideas. Just click next to this one and then click on it and click on Open. That's the easiest. And then here, just click on Save. Now you might have seen that the response that we got from the API started with some empty lines. So I'm going to start with getting rid of these. So just open the display message and just copy this entire thing and then click on copy. And then search for a trim activity, this one, and just put it here above the display message. Now text to trim, that's just the string that we have just copied. So click here on paste. And this one you can keep the same, click on save. And you see that we are generating a variable that's called trimmed text, and we're going to use this variable in the next step. Click on save. Let's now get rid of the display message. And you might have noticed that the responses that we received are basically separated by new lines. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this entire string and then split it based on the new line separator. So search for the split activity and just put it below the trim text. Now the text to split, that's a variable that we have just generated, so that's trimmed text. Click on select. Then just put this one on custom. This one should be /n. And then make sure that isRegular expression is enabled and click on save. And then we have splitted the text based on new lines so that we now have 10 different IDs instead of one string with 10 ideas. And you will see that Power Automate returns these 10 IDs in the list text list, this one. So let's continue with adding a for each. Just take it and just put it below the split text. And we want to loop through text list. So let's just take a text list, click on select and then click on save. And you see that Power Automate is storing the current item in the variable current item. Click on save. Okay, now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to use a set variable. And I'm going to create a counter to keep track of the number. So just put set variable here. And then let's create a new variable that we call row. And let's say that row is equal to 1. Add again another set variable, put it in the for each. And then we're going to say that row is equal to row plus 1. And save it. Now we're going to need one more split, because I want to split the number from the actual idea. And for that I'm going to use another split activity, split text, take it and put it in the for each. And the text that I want to split, that's current item. So I just select this one, click on select. And the delimiter, that's dot space. And that's because all the IDs are noted in the format 1 dot space and then the entire idea. So the delimiter type is custom and this one is dot. And also make sure that you don't forget the space. I see that Power Automate is saving the output in text list 2. And that's the one that I'm going to use right now. So now search for write to Excel worksheet. Just put that here between the split text and the set variable. And then value to write. So that's text list 2, this one. Make sure that you put 2. And then I'm going to start with writing 0, which is the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Then the column is going to be 1. And the row, that's going to be row. So refer to the variable row here. And then click on save. And then I'm going to take this one. I'm going to press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to copy this entire activity. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change the column here to number 2. And I'm going to change text list to 0 to text list to 1. Because that's referring not to the number, but to the actual idea. Then click on save. And this was our entire RPA bot. So let's run a project and let's see what we get. Let's open the Excel file to see the result. And you see that the 10 YouTube video IDs have been stored here, and they've also stored here in a very structured way. If this video was useful for you, I would really appreciate if you could give it a thumbs up, because apparently that helps the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more about Power Automate Desktop. See you in the next video.